In this video, I want to share with you how I introduced my son to these brand new toys that I'm getting from KiwiCo and Lovevery. However, before I do that, I actually have to do a toy rotation, as some of these toys here have been in rotation for a little while now, and my son is starting to get bored of it. Let me share with you how I actually go through the thought process on rotating some of these toys out. Quick little note, I actually have a more in-depth video about toy rotations if you want to learn more about it. Right now I'm going to go ahead and pick maybe 2 to 3 toys that I find that he's no longer interested in and change those out. Personally, I found that if I change out too many toys at a time, the change is a little bit too drastic for my son and he loses a little bit of focus and just wants to grab all the different new toys that are out at the same time. So I actually have 2 of these shelves in here with his toys. This is the larger of the 2. Let's go ahead and look at this one first. So what I know for sure that I'm most likely going to remove and rotate out are these blocks here. He rarely plays with them, and the only reason I have them in there is because the new Lovevery book actually talks about using these building blocks. But he doesn't really stack them much anymore, doesn't play with them. It's pretty much been untouched for at least almost a week now, so those are safe to remove. Next, we have these balls here. These balls he still play with a little bit. They are a candidate for removal though, as they're not his favorites out here. And he hasn't been playing with them as much as he probably does with some of the other toys. So these musical instruments here is something me and my wife has always been trying to get my son to play with. However, he's just not taking them. Just like the blocks that are next to them, I definitely think those are a very high candidate to be replaced. The nesting felt basket is something he really loves playing with still, especially the blue basket. He really likes using that as a hat and having me put on his head. So that's definitely staying. Alright, the last 2 toys that are here, the softball on top and then the kitchen utensils that are for practical play, while they're not his favorites, he still plays with them every once in a while, every other couple days, so I'm going to go ahead and leave them in for now, but they might be rotated out next time. So here is the smaller toy shelf that's in my son's room right now, and most of the toys actually on the bottom shelf area, starting with these have always been his favorite. He always likes playing with them. And he really likes enjoy opening and closing it and playing with the felt balls inside right now. Alright, so for the next shelf here, this is something that my son really likes playing with right now. My wife actually made these flashcards with pictures of people in the family and the household. So it's basically just me, my wife, and our 3 dogs. But my son really likes playing with this right now, as we'll ask him to go find one, something like, hey, where's Bella? And he'll actually go grab the Bella card for us. So of course, these are actually staying. This last corner here is from the last Lovevery box. He still plays with that regularly, so that's staying. Alright, so this leaves this last item that was from our last Lovevery box. This is the race car item. I thought my son would really like this, but he hasn't really liked it much at all. So this is going to get rotated out. So we have 3 candidates to get rotated out right now. We have the racetrack, and then we have the musical instruments right here, and then the building blocks here. And I have set these aside for now. I'll actually put them back in the closet a little bit later. But let's go ahead and take a look at what toys I'm going to replace them with. Here I have the shape puzzle, which I have not introduced to my son yet. Let's go ahead and put this where the racetrack was. The other items are inside this box. Let's see. So here I have the shrub my son has definitely not played with, which I think I'll actually take this out to see how he likes playing with it. And it has all the bugs in here. I actually found out that the original Pioneer kit actually only included 3 bugs. So I lucked out and I got 6 bugs with mine. Alright, so this leaves me with 1 open spot that I need to fill out still. I will actually not touch these 2 toys here as they're KiwiCo, and I generally reserve KiwiCo for our upstairs play area. We'll stick to the Lovevery items here. There's the Simon Says cube and then the threading beads. I think the Simon Says cube is a little bit too advanced for my son right now. If I roll this, he's not going to be able to do all these things quite yet. So maybe I'll save this for another time. Let's go ahead and do the threading beads. Since the threading bead toy has so many parts, I find that it's easier if I get a basket to put everything in so that everything is nice and kept together, and whenever we do cleanup, it's easier. And I'm going to put it where the musical instruments was. Let me know down below in the comment section if this has happened to you before. You purchased a new toy or you received the latest subscription box for your child and you're quite eager for them to start playing with the toy. But when you introduce the toy to them, you find that your child has no interest in playing with the toy. It's actually normal. Remember, foremost, your role is to observe your child's development. That way you can prepare their environment with materials that meet their developmental needs and introduce the right toy at the right time. While many of these subscription services have recommended toys at a certain age range, each child is unique. Your little one might not always show interest in the toy immediately. There are many different factors why this is. The toy might not be providing enough challenge, which could make the toy too boring for your child. Or on the other end, it could be too challenging, which makes them frustrated and can cause them to avoid the toy as well. Here's how I like to introduce new toys. I leave them on a shelf for my son to discover them at his own pace. I find that it's much better when he finds the toy on his own and starts playing with it rather than me handing him the toy or drawing his attention to the new toys. Allowing your child to develop their interest in a toy in their own time will result in more independent play and deeper learning. And once they discover the toy, it may be tempting for you to show them how to play with the toy, especially if it's a new concept. But Dr. Maria Montessori actually advises us to not jump in to assist them before giving them ample time to explore and figure it out themselves. If you noticed after a few days has passed and your child still hasn't shown any interest or touched the new toy, then you can take the toy from the shelf and start playing with it yourself. Let your child see you enjoying and playing with the toy, kind of like a role model. This might spark some interest and curiosity from your child to explore the new toy. This generally doesn't happen very often, as my son always seems to spot the new toy whenever it's rotated in, and he kind of gravitates towards it. And should a week or more has passed and your child still is ignoring the toy, then like I mentioned earlier, it's possible that the toy is either not challenging enough or too challenging. This will indicate that you can rotate the toy out and try to reintroduce it a couple weeks later. You may find that your child plays with a toy just for a few minutes and moves on to a different toy. That's actually normal behavior for a young child. By following the Montessori method, we're slowly helping the child build their focus, concentration, and attention span. Your child is very young. This is a process that will take some time to improve. If you want to learn more about toy rotation, check out this video over here. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more Montessori inspired content like this, and I'll catch you next time.